Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I am excited to share part one of my birthday story kit projects from Ali Edwards. Now, normally on Thursdays, I share either a reading journal video or a planner journal video. I'm working on something with my reading journal to get my reviews typed up and put into my reading journal. It's just taking me a little time to figure out how to do that with my new computer and Photoshop. So bear with me. I've got these projects to share with you, and it's also perfect because I just had my birthday on Tuesday and I have had these projects done for at least 6 months, if not longer. So I'm starting off with this project to celebrate my 39th birthday, and I had this kind of sassy selfie where I was kind of holding up my hair, and I just love it. So I'm going to mainly go with kind of the soft yellow and the yellow balloons and also the pinks. And at first it was a little tricky to figure out how am I going to use this kit with this photo, and also like what embellishments am I going to pair with it. But in the end, I made it work and I really love the result. I took Birthday Joys and I took that 4x6 and I cut it in half, so that way the piece that does not have any writing on the right hand side, and I really love that because it adds to my overall color scheme. Now I wish I had 2 of those yellow balloons, but I only had 1, so I'm going to wind up splitting it so that way it can be used on both pages. I also have some yellow sequins. They're not the same shade of yellow, but they're close enough so everything can work well together. Now that piece that says happy, I believe I cut that from something else. I don't remember what, but I cut it and I knew it wasn't going to work if it was going to go, like you're reading it from left to right. So putting it right next to the edge of my photo, I love how that turned out. That's not something I normally do. I don't think a lot of us turn our words, so it's just something different. I also had these huge cork numbers and I was able to pull a 3 and a 9 for $39. Plus, I had a few cork butterflies left over. I think I had like 3 or 4. They were super, super tiny, so I didn't use all of them, but I had enough that I could do 3 along the spread. I also went looking in my stash and I found some pink vellum, I think from a February Stories by the Month kit. So I'm going to pull that out in just a little bit to punch some more butterflies, because I did feel like overall this spread needed a little bit more pink and butterflies, so I grabbed this vellum. You can see here it says Galentine's Day, and I didn't necessarily need that, so I just punched out the butterflies that I did need. I've also sliced the balloon in not half, but more like 2/3 for the left side and 1/3 for the right hand side, and I'm loving this. I'd love to know in the comments too, do you guys document yourselves when it comes to birthdays? I would love to know. I think for me, documenting birthdays isn't something I normally think of, not only for myself, but also for my kids. So it's just interesting, that I'm now trying to take time to get those birthday photos and document them. And next week in part 2, you will see how I documented my kids' birthdays with the not only the birthday story kit, but also the present story kit. So that's going to be fun to share with you as well. For the cork pieces, I think that double-sided tape will work best for it. I also am gluing down the sequins and I'm making some really pretty clusters. I found neutral chipboard pieces in my stash. One says love this and the other one says this season has my heart. So I put that over on the right hand side. So really fun clusters that I'm making in 3 different spots. And then of course I'm leaving all that empty space on the top left side for all my journaling. And I'm glad I left that much space because when I go to journal, I actually have a lot to say. Also glad I used up some of those cork numbers. I feel like my number drawer is getting really full and I need to figure out a way to use numbers more. Like put them on something or count something. I don't know. I just feel like I need to use up some number stash. But I think it's because my half binder album is so kind of small that it's sometimes hard to use these numbers. But having all that empty space on the right hand side really allowed me to go ahead and use those gigantic numbers, and it looks so good. But I do remember when I was making this, like I said earlier, I was struggling with trying to put together this color scheme. Like, I don't know, maybe I wasn't trusting myself with the color scheme, and I was thinking maybe I couldn't pull it off, but I definitely did. And I'm just glad that I stuck with this project. It's one of those projects that I distinctly remember making and being happy that I had extra time to kind of play with this project, make it come together. Instead of being rushed on time, I had enough time to kind of work through the kinks and pull it all together. I needed one more butterfly up in the top corner, and I am going to cut off some of the butterfly, but it just, to me, adds to the movement of the butterflies moving across the page. And I also only glue down the body. That way, if I want to kind of lift up the wings on either side, I can go ahead and do that. So having those vellum butterflies is definitely one of my favorites, and it's probably a little technique or trick I'm going to repeat again because I love vellum, and Ali Edwards is using a lot of vellum in her products now. So it makes sense to figure out ways to use all the vellum. I'm drawing my journaling lines because goodness knows I cannot write straight to save my life, but I wanted to be able to have lots of space to kind of reflect on the last year of my 30s. And so I said that I'm thankful that I'm getting older, and the biggest reason is just becoming more comfortable with who I am, embracing all my quirks, my challenges, my strengths, and using them to move forward, and knowing that each step forward is an accomplishment. I've been many versions of myself, and I want to make each one proud, especially the little girl who dealt with so much. For her and all the chapters of me, I'll continue to grow, be my best, and count my blessings. Thankful to continue on this roller coaster of life. So who knew I had so much to say, but I did, and I'm gonna have to go back and add in some journaling lines, and I really got very deep with this journaling, which is totally fine. Instead of being like surface level, sometimes you just gotta go below the surface and go a little deeper. And now I'm 40, and I am so excited for this new decade. I've heard from so many people that the 40s is a wonderful decade, and I'm excited. I'm excited because I feel more like myself. I'm more settled in myself, and I know what I want and who I want to be around. So definitely recommend doing one of these birthday pages. Did I already say that? But I'm going to say it again because I think it's so important that we all take the time to reflect on how awesome we are. All right, so the companion page to this, or the second part of this page, is I wanted to kind of document going out to dinner with my husband, and also the screenshots that I took throughout the day of people sending me birthday wishes, which is just incredible, just amazing. So what I decided to do was stamp a border down the left-hand side, which sounds fantastic. And I did use a scrap piece of paper, but I did not draw a line down, and I did not once check and see if my stamping was going straight. So to me, the stamping looks like it is leaning. I don't know. Once I get done with it, I don't know. To me, it just looked like it was leaning. But I really love the stamping technique that I did as far as the multiple colors and using the stamp kit or the story kit stamp that came with it. So I'm just stamping in a variety of colors. In blue, I have story, thankful for another year around the sun, and then I also have happy day. I went with a lot of blue because the dinner plate was blue, and two of the vellum balloons that I had left from the kit are teal, so I decided that I would lean heavy on the blue, but there's also the pop of pink, and then I did orange little dots that is also a stamp, but it leans into the polka dot balloon that I have. I just really wish I would have paid attention to whether I was stamping straight, or put a line of washi tape and to help myself out. I have no idea why I didn't do that. That feels like a rookie mistake to make, but either way, I'm not going back to do it. I'm just going to keep moving forward. I've got a photo of the dinner plate and my husband and I, and he looks thrilled to take a photo, but I'm using the photo anyways. I tuck the polka dot balloon underneath our photo and layer the happy birthday one on top of each of the photos and kind of tilt the photos as well, just so they have a little bit of movement. I go looking in my word phrase stickers, and I want to look for teal and also pink and see if I have any puffy stickers that will go well, and I do. They're kind of asterisks, I want to say, puffy asterisks. I don't know what they're called, but I use several of those, and the word phrase stickers say summer and the story of this meal. I also have loved this and a heart stacked together. And so then I made this page. Once I got done with this page, I kind of put the project away and just recently came back to make the right hand side. I don't know why when I was planning out these birthday projects, I don't know why I hadn't printed the photos that I wanted to put on the right hand side. I don't know why I did that, because normally I don't. Normally if I make a project or I plan a project, I get all of the pieces together so that way I can do it all in one shot, I guess you could say. But I did not for this particular page. But really what I'm going to do on the other side is just do a grid of screenshots. I'm not going to explain it, and I'm not going to do any stamping. I don't want to goof it up. I want to get it done. So like I said earlier, I had 1 million Instagram messages, and it was just amazing. So I took screenshots of all the different messages, and I'm going to put those in the middle row. I also have a photo of the gift the teacher I work with, she gave me. I also have a text from my best friend, another Instagram message, an Instagram story, and then my notifications on my phone, plus the app Time Hop. I don't know if you guys know that app, but I love it. And if you've watched my videos, you know that I love it. And it was saying happy birthday to me, so I had to include that. And then a friend included a happy birthday wish, and I said that I hope you get carrot cake, which is just perfect because I love carrot cake, and on my birthday I like to have carrot cake. This year I didn't. I decided to have the chocolate cake. Just something different. And then I added a sticker that said celebration, a few puffy stickers, and called it done, called it a day. Didn't need to be more complicated than that, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, last birthday project is my friend had a birthday party, or has a birthday party every January to kind of celebrate each year. For his birthday, he likes to celebrate his birthday with themed parties, but really it's more of a chance for all of us to kind of get together and see each other, and because his friends are from all walks of life, and it's nice to see each other this one time during the year, and we all enjoy my friends' parties. So this particular one was rainbow themed, and you had to dress in a certain color. I had green, and you had to bring an appetizer that was that color. So I just stopped and picked up some spinach dip, and that worked out perfectly. I took our photo and I made it 4x6, and so I have to split it down the middle, and that worked out pretty well. I just kind of trimmed it right where my hair is on the left-hand side of the project. But first I wanted to make sure I put down a strip of the green pattern paper. So I put that down first, and then the photo, got out my trimmer and trimmed off the sections that I didn't need. And so in this project with the birthday story kit, I'm focusing on green and yellow. Green because that's the color I was wearing, and yellow just because I thought it paired well when I was looking for items that went well with these photos. So I have the half of the photo, as you can see, on the left-hand side. Grab my ruler because I want to make sure I get it straight as I can. And I also have the green pattern paper, and again, I will just cut that off, and it works out perfectly. I also did a new design for this format that I use, half binder size. I tend to get a few designs for this half binder and stick with those and kind of rotate through those, just because it is harder to use large photos. But I love this design I came up with. So it's a 4x6 right in the middle, and then above it you have 4 tilted photos. You could have potentially up to 6, I think, but on the left-hand side, I'm going to use that large green present, and on the far right, I'm going to do some stamping along with a few lines of journaling. You can see I'm putting the photos, and I will adhere those down once I figure out the placement. I have my friend opening his gift, a close-up of the cupcakes, my friend right before we sang happy birthday, and then me at the rainbow wall holding up my snack and wearing my outfit. I even wore a leprechaun hat because it's green and why not? So I was pretty much green from head to toe. I should have tried to get green pants because that would have been hilarious, but green was fun. It was a fun color. Definitely my favorite color, so it was easy for me. Maybe I should have gotten a harder color. I don't know. I am going to start to glue down the trickier embellishments, which is going to be this yellow felt heart. I think they came in this story kit. I really can't remember. I'm not sure. But I had one, and it works well with the yellow and green that I'm using. So I'm going to use that, add some red line tape. Same thing with the large felt present that's up in the left-hand corner. Plus, I have some giant puffy stickers. I believe those are from the Cozy story kit. So I'm just kind of mixing in things, which is something I'm kind of working on, trying to mix in products from different story kits if they go well with each other, if that makes sense. So I'd love to know if you guys do that, if you mix in different products. For me, it's not a go-to. Like, I don't go plan a project and then start to pick out items from different story kits. As far as embellishments, that's a little easier to do because once I'm, done with the story kit, I'll usually file away some of the embellishments in, their spots, like the puffy stickers. Those go in a different spot than leftover kit components. So for me, not my go-to to combine things, but I'm working on that. I grabbed the Enjoy Story Kit stamp and also the Birthday Story Kit stamp, and I'm going to use both of those to add in some different sayings. So I love the idea of stamping currently enjoying right above my friend's head because that'll make a nice kind of title statement. And then I have So Good on the far right and Party Time down in the bottom right-hand corner. I didn't like the way that I stamped Party Time, so I'm actually going to stamp that on a piece of white paper and go ahead and trim it out and then cut out the white paper and stick it where the oops was. So I stamped currently enjoying, and now this is where I kind of goof on the Party Time. I don't remember what I goofed on, but I just didn't like it. So I decided to use some paper, and it worked awesome for filling in the little mistake. I think what happened is that it got smudged a little. I also used the dots, which I love these dots. I'm obsessed with these dots because you can take this little dot stamp and just add in a little extra color wherever you want it. Or, it just adds really great movement too. I feel like the dots is such a basic stamp, and I'm so glad that she put it out because like I said, I use it for everything. So the little dots are going to be in green and yellow, and they're going to look awesome. I also stamped so good over on the far right side, and I decided to try something different by breaking up my journaling into 3 different sections. So one at the top left, over on the far right, and then in the bottom right hand corner. And I feel like it helps your eye to kind of move around the space. I don't remember what my thinking was on not having a 4th journaling box, like over by the currently enjoying, but I decided not to have journaling there. I'm stamping in all those different dots in yellow and green, and once I feel like it's enough dots, then I will go ahead and add in the journaling. So again, the dots, I'm just adding them everywhere and trying my best not to add too many because it is very tempting to add too many. But I just want to have enough that it balances out the spread and it doesn't overwhelm the spread. And I think that I did that. So I have some wood veneer hearts. I put one by So Good and also Currently Enjoying. And then for the journaling, I just said celebrating my friend's 43rd birthday with a rainbow theme. And I got to dress in green and I shared my spinach dip. And of course, we played some games, which we always love doing to kind of celebrate his birthday and just have a good old-fashioned grown-up party, which we all love, like I said, because none of us have a birthday party. So my friend does it kind of for all of us, which is really awesome. All right, so that is that project. All my projects, part 1 for the birthday story kit. I hope you've enjoyed. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.